Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chance and Carter's fate, the final Italian twist, and Kane's horror. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, July 28, 2025. Fans will learn what happened to Carter and Chance Chancellor. Continue reading to find the final surprise in the Italian chateau plot. Trigger warning. This post discusses suicide. Please be aware before proceeding to read. If you require mental health services, call 911. Kane Ashby's horror. Let us start with Carter, who will be faced by Kane Ashby. Carter would admit that he killed Damian Kane, but he did so for Aristotle Dumas. Of course, the tycoon will strive to maintain his cool, while extracting information from Carter. When Kane finally loses his rage, Carter understands he's been duped. Lily Winter's hostage situation. Victor Newman and Chance are listening to Carter's confession via a nearby hedge. When Chance tries to deal with Carter, the assistant notices his phone number has changed. Carter pulls out a revolver and kidnaps Lily Winters. Chance Chancellor died. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, July 28 indicate that Chance's heroism will take a fatal turn. Fans were already aware that Connor Floyd was departing Y&R to replace Billy Flynn's former role on Days of Our Lives, Chad DiMera. The only uncertainty was how Chance would leave. Returning to the tale, Kane will attempt to offer himself as a hostage. After Lily is released, Carter raises the gun at his boss. Chance rushes to the rescue, but he dies from a gunshot wound. Carter's suicide. Fans can also expect Monday's episode to see what happens to Carter. Carter opts out of prison since he knows it's coming. Sally Spectra's bombshell. Over with Sally Spectra, she returns to the train with a shocking revelation. Furthermore, Jack Abbott is shocked to hear what has happened. Jack will also notice all the blood on his loved one's hands. Billy Abbott's future. Chance's death may fuel Billy Abbott's desire for vengeance. The greatest option would be for Kane to remain in Italy and leave everyone alone. Instead, he will inform Lily of his plans to return to Genoa City. So, is Kane even eligible for redemption? That means 3 individuals would still be alive if he hadn't been playing games. Another death. Chance's Law and Order and Nick's past. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, July 28, 2025. Fans can expect one more death at the Chateau de Nice. That forces Chance Chancellor to attempt to maintain law and order. Also, Victor and Nikki Newman make decisions to protect their family. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap drama. Another French death. Let us begin with the death that occurs at the chateau. Fans are aware that Damian Kane was already murdered. Carter has now attempted to hold Nick and Sharon Newman captive. Nick suffered serious injuries during a scuffle while attempting to flee. Fortunately, Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott saved the day. Read more. Find out what happened in the last episode of Y&R. Then Kane Ashby wants answers from Carter. After Carter confesses, everyone will try to make their move. However, Carter pulls out a revolver and kidnaps Lily Winters. It appears that Carter will be the one to die. He appears to be the only expendable character. Chance Chancellor's challenge. Following the death, there will be anarchy. Chance may not be an official investigator in France, but he understands how to maintain law and order. Chance will also want to ensure that no bodies or evidence are touched before French authorities arrive. Nick Newman's past. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, July 28 indicate that Nick and Sharon will talk about their history. Despite their lengthy and turbulent past, they have always supported one another. So maybe Nick and Sharon might discuss what happens next. Will they attempt to revive their relationship? Read this. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Triple heartbreak, move-in drama and ex-lovers clash. Monday, July 28, 2025. It is also said that Victor and Nikki make some unexpected choices. These decisions will be made in order to protect their family. There is upheaval in Nice, Damian's death, and of course Kane's purchase of all Genoa City real estate. Nikki is also learning about Victor's arrangement with Audra Charles. Then Claire and Victoria Newman will reveal that Cole Howard died while everyone was away. Kane has also formed an alliance with Holden Novak. It appears that after Nice, Kane may return to GC with new ambitions. So what will happen next with these characters? Super Sally comes to the rescue, Carter takes on Kane, and Nick is cornered. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Friday, July 25, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, Sally Spectra is expected to assist an innocent victim. Meanwhile, Kane Ashby could have some questions for Carter. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap drama. Nick Newman's injury. Nick Newman sustains injuries following an altercation with a security guard. Sharon Newman dashed out to find Billy Abbott, who raced to Nick's rescue. Billy informed Sharon that Nick's injuries was severe, and he had already lost a lot of blood.
Sally Spectra's rescue. Sally eventually encounters Billy, who most likely tells her what is going on. Before Sally can learn more about Nick's injuries, Billy will most likely advise her to seek medical attention. Read more, find out what happened in the last episode of Y&R. Billy remarked that there was someone present who knew more about medicine than everyone else. I'm not sure who that would be right now, but it may be Sally. In The Bold and the Beautiful, Sally had a medical acquaintance. They conspired together, but perhaps Sally gained some insight during that time. If Sally saves Nick's life, Victor and Nikki Newman should be kinder to her. Nikki Newman cornered. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, July 25 hint that Nikki will be trapped. Meanwhile, Victor plans to take matters into his own hands. If Victor discovers that his son is dying from blood loss, he would undoubtedly find a means to save him. Instead of focusing on Carter, Victor needs to get a phone or move away from Kane. Read this. The Young and the Restless. Amelia Hindley discusses Victoria's new romance. Will Villi reunion happen? Kane Ashby against Carter. It's also hinted that Kane will have some serious questions for Carter. Kane might have approved Nick's house arrest. However, Kane would never condone of two guys being attacked. Damian Kane died first, followed by Nick. While Nick's injuries are significant, fans shouldn't be too concerned. It is unlikely that Nick will be murdered off. He will most likely be saved by the estate's medical expert, whoever that is. However, Kane's games are coming to an end. One man dead, another's life hanging in the balance. It's time to wrap this party up. Bucko, The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, July 28, 2025, bring the long, bloody Italian and French chateau saga to a shocking and emotional crescendo. As Carter and Chance Chancellor meet their fates, Kane Ashby is forced to reckon with the deadly consequences of his manipulations. Lily Winters finds herself facing the barrel of a gun, and Sally Spectra steps up in a way no one saw coming, while the Newman and Abbott families are left reeling from another death, layers of betrayal, and a final twist that ensures nothing will ever be the same in Genoa City or abroad. As the episode opens, the chaos that has been spiraling since Damian Kane's murder reaches its most dangerous point, with Kane Ashby confronting Carter after piecing together that the slippery assistant not only betrayed him but killed Damian on orders from Aristotle Dumas, the elusive tycoon whose shadowy dealings have turned Nice into a crime scene and Kane into a pawn. And while Kane tries to remain calm to extract every detail, his anger erupts when he realizes Carter has been playing both sides, prompting Carter to understand he's been cornered, his loyalty meaningless now that Kane and the others know the truth. And just as Kane begins to issue threats, Victor Newman and Chance Chancellor, listening in from behind the hedges, prepare to move, only for the entire situation to explode when Carter, realizing he's trapped and his chances of escape slim, whips out a gun and seizes Lily Winters as a hostage, escalating the already fraught standoff into a nightmare as Kane, panicked at the sight of Lily in danger, begs Carter to take him instead. While the Italian estate descends into pandemonium, Chance, acting on instinct, moves in to neutralize the threat, and though he isn't officially acting as a detective in France, his instincts as a lawman push him to protect Lily at all costs. But in the split second that Carter turns the gun on Kane, Chance lunges, taking a bullet in the process, a fatal wound that leaves Kane, Lily, and even Victor stunned as the heroic Chancellor crumples to the ground, his life ebbing away, marking Connor Floyd's emotional exit as Chance and giving viewers the gut punch they knew was coming but hoped to avoid. While Chance bleeds out, Kane finally convinces Carter to let Lily go, but the assistant, fully aware that his life is over, his crimes exposed, his boss turning on him, the French authorities on their way, and a likely lifetime behind bars awaiting him, chooses his own escape route, turning the gun on himself in a chilling, shocking act that leaves the estate echoing with screams as Lily and Kane watch in horror. Victor calls for calm, and Chance, with his last breath, urges everyone not to touch the bodies or evidence until the French authorities arrive, his sense of duty unwavering even as his life slips away, and the grim tableau of two dead men, one a corrupt enforcer, the other a beloved hero, cements the chateau's status as a scene of tragedy. As word spreads, Sally Spectra, returning to the train to share a bombshell about what she's witnessed, is shaken but determined, not only by Chance's sacrifice but by the cascading consequences of Kane's actions, which have indirectly led to Damien's murder, Carter's breakdown, and Chance's death, leaving 3 bodies on Kane's conscience and fans wondering if Kane can ever crawl out from the pit he's dug, especially as he tells Lily he plans to return to Genoa City instead of disappearing into Europe, a choice that will no doubt ignite even more tension with Billy Abbott, whose thirst for revenge will only grow after losing Chance, his friend and occasional ally, and who could channel that grief into a dangerous vendetta against Kane, Aristotle, or anyone tied to the chain of events. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott, horrified as he surveys the aftermath and sees his family and loved ones literally drenched in blood, from Sally's rescue efforts to Billy's frantic attempts to stop Nick Newman's bleeding, questions whether the Newmans and Abbotts can ever untangle themselves from this violent web, while Victor and Nikki, still juggling the fallout from Victor's secret deal with Audra Charles and Nikki's growing unease about Kane's business moves in Genoa City, begin plotting decisive action to protect their empire, even as Claire and Victoria drop another bombshell by revealing that Cole Howard has died while everyone was abroad, yet another layer of grief to pile onto a family already stretched to its breaking point. In the quieter but no less pivotal moments, Nick and Sharon, still processing Nick's brutal injury and their harrowing captivity earlier in the week, find themselves reflecting on their complicated past, realizing that despite everything, the loves, losses, betrayals, and reconciliations, they have always found their way back to one another in times of crisis, sparking questions about whether this ordeal could reignite a romance, even as they know the chaos in Nice isn't over, because with Carter dead, Damien gone, Chance lost, and Aristotle's shadow still looming, there's no guarantee anyone is truly safe, especially with Kane quietly forging an alliance with Holden Novak, hinting that his return to Genoa City won't be about redemption but about consolidating power, perhaps using the carnage in Nice as leverage to reshape the city's business and criminal landscape. The episode, dripping with tension, grief, and setups for the future, cements the Italian and French arcs as some of the most explosive in recent Y&R history, delivering a final twist that will reverberate for months. Chance, the moral compass who always tried to hold chaos at bay, dies a hero's death but leaves a vacuum in law and order that no one, not Billy, not Kane, not Victor, seems ready or willing to fill, while Carter's shocking suicide underscores just how far the Dumas-Kane machinations pushed everyone, and Kane's horror at watching 2 men die because of his game signals that his own reckoning is only beginning, making it clear that when the dust settles and the survivors return home, the true war, over power, love, and survival, is only just starting. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, July 28, 2025, promise one of the most harrowing and shocking episodes in recent memory as the Italian chateau storyline finally reaches its tragic crescendo, a night of chaos, betrayals, bloodshed, and irreversible loss that will forever haunt Genoa City and its residents, with Carter, Chance Chancellor, Lily Winters, Kane Ashby, and a host of other players entangled in a deadly web spun by Aristotle Dumas and the late Damien Kane, whose murder proves to be the match that ignites an inferno of final confrontations. It all begins when Kane, already tormented by the revelation that Carter, his trusted assistant and enforcer, was responsible for Damien's death under orders from Dumas, corners Carter in the opulent, dimly lit study of the chateau, Venetian glass glinting like shards of judgment as he demands to know every detail of Damien's demise, his grief boiling into rage as Carter, sweating under the weight of both guilt and fear, stammers through his confession, revealing how Damien's death was not just an act of loyalty to Dumas but also a desperate attempt to keep himself alive, a decision that now seals his fate as Kane, realizing the depth of betrayal and how far Dumas' reach extends, lashes out, his voice echoing off the ancient stone walls, shattering the false calm Carter had tried to maintain, and as Kane's fury peaks, Carter, eyes darting toward the window where shadows shift ominously, realizes too late that the confession wasn't private, for just beyond a hedge outside, Victor Newman, calculating and cold as ever, and Chance Chancellor, driven by duty despite knowing his own exit from this world is near, have been listening, recording every damning word, the weight of justice balanced precariously on Chance's shoulders as he steels himself to bring Carter in despite the danger. But before justice can be served cleanly, chaos erupts when Carter, sensing the noose tightening and hearing Chance's approach, draws a gun with shaking hands, his desperation manifesting in a reckless gambit as he seizes Lily Winters, pulling her close as a human shield, his voice cracking with a mixture of terror and defiance as he threatens to kill her if anyone dares move closer, sending Kane into a spiral of horror as he watches the woman he still loves at gunpoint, powerless yet frantic, his pleas mixing with Victor's cold commands to stand down, while Chance, undeterred, begins a slow, deliberate approach, each step forward punctuated by Carter's tightening grip on Lily, the tension in the air nearly suffocating. The standoff stretches into eternity, the humid Italian night pressing down as everyone realizes that there will be no peaceful end, and when Kane, tears welling, offers himself as a replacement hostage, begging Carter to release Lily, the assistant hesitates, his finger twitching on the trigger, before shoving Lily away and swinging the gun toward Kane, venom in his eyes as he mutters that if he's going down, so is his boss. But before he can pull the trigger, Chance, embodying the selfless heroism that has defined him, lunges forward. A split-second decision that saves Kane but costs him everything as a gunshot cracks like thunder, the sound reverberating through the chateau as Chance stumbles back, crimson blossoming across his shirt, his life ebbing away as Lily screams and Kane catches him, the hero's final breath spent assuring them both that it was worth it, that Lily is safe, that Kane must carry on, his hand slipping from Kane's grasp as the light fades from his eyes, leaving behind a silence more deafening than the gunfire itself. Carter, wide-eyed and shaking at what he's done, doesn't wait for Victor's guards to storm the room or for the cold clang of handcuffs, because he knows there is no escape from the life sentence awaiting him, no deal that can save him from Dumas' wrath or the law's reach, and so, in a chilling moment that will air unflinchingly, Carter turns the gun on himself, whispering a broken apology before pulling the trigger, collapsing beside the man whose death he inadvertently caused. Two bodies lying in a grotesque tableau on the chateau floor as Lily and Kane cling to one another, soaked in grief. Victor looks on with grim approval, and Jack Abbott, arriving moments later to witness the aftermath, stands horrified, his gaze lingering on the blood, the shattered lives, and the devastating realization that nothing will ever be the same for those he cares about. The fallout ripples immediately, as Sally Spectra, breathless and pale, bursts into the train station with a bombshell revelation about Dumas' next move, an ominous twist that proves the danger isn't over despite the blood already spilled. While back at the chateau, Jack's shock gives way to dread as he understands that this Italian nightmare will echo across Genoa City, setting the stage for revenge, grief-driven chaos, and a battle for control that no amount of money, power, or scheming can contain. And as the screen fades to black on Monday's episode, fans are left with the image of Chance Chancellor, fallen hero, Carter's lifeless form beside him, Lily and Kane's haunted embrace, and Victor Newman staring coldly into the night, plotting the next move, while the credits roll over the sounds of distant sirens and Sally's warning, cementing this installment as one of the most emotionally explosive and game-changing episodes in The Young and the Restless history, a night where love, loyalty, betrayal, and death converged beneath the Italian moon, sealing Chance's fate as a martyr, Carter's as a cautionary tale, Kane's as a man forever scarred by horror, and Genoa City's as a world about to be rocked by the aftershocks of everything that happened in that blood-soaked chateau.